Hi there, this is Patricia Fenty from patriciafenty.com, and today we are going to be making these really nice bath dissolves. Now these are very similar to bath bombs, but they don't have citric acid in them. That's the ingredient that makes the bomb all kind of fizzy and bubbly and tickles your skin. But some people, like myself, are sensitive to citric acid. So this is a recipe without citric acid, which means when you put it in the bath, it will dissolve more than go boom. But the ingredients are so lovely in this recipe. We have baking soda, cornstarch, some Epsom salt, and a little bit of Himalayan pink salt. So it's a really lovely, soothing recipe. You can make these as a gift, and you can use a mold, or you can make them into little balls like this. And yeah, so whichever way you want to do it. And I'm using just lavender essential oil in this recipe, but I'll give you some other essential oil blend recipes. So let's get started. All right, so here are the ingredients that you'll need to make the recipe. So the basic recipe is 1 cup of baking soda, 1/8 of a cup of pink Himalayan salt, 1/8 of a cup of Epsom salts, and these are both fine salts, 1/4 cup of cornstarch, and then a mixture of 5 teaspoons of water, distilled water, with 5 teaspoons of witch hazel. And you'll need some essential oils. I'm just using lavender. And then if you want, you can use a mold or shape them into a ball. I'm going to use a mold, and in order to fill all of these, I'm actually going to make the recipe 1.5 times. So you can adjust it however you like. You can half it and make a small batch, or double it, whatever you like. And the other thing you could use would be a spray bottle with the witch hazel and water at the end to just get the dough to the consistency that will work really nicely. You need a measuring spoon to measure the liquids, and of course you'll need a mixing bowl. All right, so just start by mixing your dry ingredients together into the bowl. The cornstarch is kind of sticky, and you can use some latex gloves or rubber gloves if you like, if you have any sensitivities. So you're just going to mix your dry ingredients together. And if you wanted, you could use all pink Himalayan salt, and it would make your mixture more pink. So just mix everything nicely together like that. And then just using your measuring spoon, just start measuring in just a little bit of water, you know, maybe a tablespoon at a time. You just want to start with a little bit at a time. And then you kind of just knead it in and roll it between your fingers and work it in like that. And then you just add a little bit more and continue to mix it together like that. So carry on. I'll carry on mixing this, and I'll come back in a little bit and show you what mine is looking like. Welcome back. I had to change my bowl. You can see here I have maybe about a tablespoon of liquid left, and the dough is starting to get to the point where you can squish it and it'll almost hold itself together, but you want to be able to form it into a nice firm ball. And so this is still a little bit crumbly, so you want to continue to add a little bit more water. And it's at this point that I would add the essential oils. So I'm adding 30 to 40 drops. And again, I'll have some different essential oil blends for you in the blog. You can check my blog post. There's a link for that below for some other recipes. And so just mix your oils in just like that. All right, so I've added all my essential oils and I added a little bit more water. I have maybe a teaspoon of water left in my bowl, and the consistency is getting really close. So I'll just form it together here, and you can see it's almost holding the shape of the ball, but it's just a little bit crumbly, so it could be a little bit more damp. And so at this point, you don't have to, but this is where you could use the spray bottle and just mist the water and witch hazel in, because we're very close here. And this just helps to make a nice even amount of moisture throughout the recipe. So I just keep spraying and adding more until I get to a nice consistency, and just keep testing it and trying. And so you can see here I keep spraying quite a bit, which is probably the equivalent to my teaspoon that's left in the bowl in the end. And so here we are, and that's looking really good. This is feeling good. Yeah, so you can see how that's holding its shape. I can roll it back and forth and it's not crumbling, it's not falling apart. So that's really good. So you could go ahead and form that into the balls like that, or you can put them into the mold. So I'm just going to clean this up a little bit, and I'll come back and I'll put them into the mold. Welcome back. So I've cleaned everything up, and I've put my mold on a cookie sheet so that you can actually take the whole cookie sheet away without moving your mold once it's filled up. And so it's really straightforward here. You just take your mixture and start to fill up your molds, and you want to push it in nice and firm. You want to pack it nice and firm and tight, and especially if you have molds that have a design in them. And I don't know if I mentioned, silicone molds don't work as well for this because they tend to be too soft, especially as you're filling it. And I tried silicone, but it didn't really work very well. So the more rigid molds seem to be more effective for the bath bombs. So just fill it nice and firm like that, and right to the top. And so you can do it like this. So go ahead and fill up your molds, and then if you want, you can roll them into the balls. And interesting, this isn't really packing very well, and I think it has been drying up, because yeah, you can see here because I've been filming, so you can see it's getting a bit crumbly. It's lost some moisture, so I'm going to add a little bit moisture to this. You want to do it quite quickly because it does evaporate and dry quite quickly. So because I've been filming and there's been time in between, mine is drying up, so I'm going to add a little bit more moisture to this. But anyways, either form the balls or put them in your mold and then let it dry for at least 24 hours. So I'll see you when mine is all done. Hi there, welcome back. So it's been 24 hours that the mold has been sitting, and when I finished my molds, I still had a little bit of dough left over, so I made a couple of smaller bombs, and these have held together really nicely. So now we're going to pop these out of the mold, and keeping fingers crossed they come out without breaking. So what you want to do is just sort of gently ease them out, and this can be a little bit tricky. Some people say to spray oil in the molds, but I don't know, I don't really like that idea because I've tried oil before and it will stain the outside of the finish. So just be patient and work with it and just gently ease it around and move it and pinch and push and there we go. It just let go. There we go. All right. So there is the first one. So go ahead and pop them all out. Look how nice that is. I'll come back and show you how it all looks. Ta-dum! Here we go. I got them all out of the mold. And the round ones turned out really, really nice. I love how these ones turned out, and these worked the best. The square ones were a little bit more tricky. The little edges on came out on the corner, and this big one especially broke off. So I think if I were to do it again, I probably would just do the round ones, because when I did the samples, here I'll show you the samples, and these turned out good. I was playing with different combinations and different recipes and trying to get it right, and these turned out really nice. So the big one didn't really turn out. I got a little bit of breakage on this one, and yeah, so if I did it again, I would do just the round ones or just make the balls. But in any event, they're still lovely and fun to make. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, these are definitely more of a bath dissolve. You won't get that same fizzing action that a bath bomb will give you because there's no citric acid. But there you go. You can make these as gifts or make them for yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel to get more inspiring and creative videos. Thank you for joining me.